In Urdu, we have a phrase "chok," which is like a roundabout or like a center of a thing.
Give the chance for someone to make a mistake, and tell them, okay, this is the power.
It's okay to make a mistake.
Yes. It's
Well,
for the
we
society.
are creating it here at ICRA University Extension. Hello and welcome to IUX's first ever podcast, and I'm delighted to have with me today a very special guest who's come in and just finished off a seminar for us today, and it's Kamila Ciok. Is that pronounced right?
That's correct.
Ciok.
That's correct.
It's like in Urdu we have a phrase "chok," which is like a roundabout or like a center of a thing.
Yeah, it might be a metaphor of me.
But where does the name come from?
From Poland. My father's origins are from Poland.
Okay.
Yeah.
And just to tell us a little bit about you, you have started an organization and you've been running it, and it's called I'm going to get this wrong again. Alimuradova Organisation, and it's a social engagement and youth leadership development organization. Could you just tell us a little bit about it?
So yes, I started this organization a few years ago, and actually at the beginning it was related more to art, because I was back then in Poland mostly. That's where I grew up, and what I would see is that my friends who were artists, they were facing a lot of challenges, and I was like, okay, what can I do for them? How can I help them? Because I could see that they're really inspiring, and they do amazing art. So I was wondering, how can I help them? And then I started traveling more and more, also to promote their art. And I could see that actually in the world there are more challenges, and some of them they're much closer to me. And then I went to Dagestan. It's a place where my mom comes from, and I could see that there's a lot of issues for young people. They don't have these opportunities to do anything, basically. And I mean, not to do anything, but yeah, they face a lot of different challenges, and also women. So I was doing some workshops for women then, and then I was invited to do some other programs around Europe, and also I've been to Jordan and Algeria at that time, and then suddenly I got an invitation from one of my colleagues who was working back then for Ministry of Education in Pakistan. He invited me for a peace conference a few years ago. It was in the University of Lahore, and that's how my journey with Pakistan started. And over these years I was trying to observe and understand what are the best ways to engage with society, and what values do I have, and what skills do I have in order to make a change. And for me it was very important, because I grew up with this mindset, of that you receive something, but you need to give back. So I was very grateful for the opportunities I had and all the support that my mom gave me. So I was like, okay, what can I give back? What can I do?
So what are the skills that you have that you can give back?
So I would say that recognizing people's energy and recognizing their potential, and supporting them through their career. So what NGO does is it supports young people throughout their engagement into society. So it provides them mentorship. So they apply to us with certain ideas on how to tackle social issues, and we give them tools on how they can make a change more lasting. We give them mentorship, and also we connect them with experts and with network that we gained over the years.
So you've just conducted for us at IUX a social engagement and youth leadership seminar. Tell us about what you did and what were you in sort of teaching the students? So
for me, if we want to, I mean, that's what I think, but it's not that that this is I didn't invent it. It's just some observation that I had, and that's the way I'm approaching it. I'm approaching social change. So for me, what is important is to understand in the beginning what are the individual values, and understanding, okay, what's my background, what do I care about, what do I believe, why do I actually want to engage into society, why do I actually want to bring a change, what is in me that I want to give back. So
So you were drawing this out of our students.
Yeah. So at the beginning, we talk about values, we talk about beliefs, we talk about important things. We actually trying to paint a picture of how the world looks for me, for people around me.
And do you find that there is almost perhaps a barrier that people feel that they don't have a voice, in the sense that they don't feel that they do have a voice to give back to society, or to do? Is that the sort of initial hurdle that you have to overcome when you're dealing with people, students from Pakistan, that they don't feel that they are allowed? You're giving them permission slightly? Is that what it is?
So at the beginning, it was said that we have certain values as a community, that we are a safe platform where you can share, where we are supposed to share. So we need to be on the same page to understand that, okay, I'm here for you and you're here for me, and we share this narrative together. So it's not that I'm not going to judge you and I'm not going to criticize you, and that's what I ask you not to do towards each other. And later on, we were talking about soft skills, and some of participants, some of students, they mentioned that for them they don't feel comfortable about sharing what they think, about sharing their weaknesses, because they don't want to be perceived as those who have weaknesses. So it was actually very interesting discussions, because they asked me, okay, but is it fine if I share my weaknesses? What will people?
What did you say to that?
I said that it's necessary, because if you share the weaknesses, you actually become much more stronger through that, and this is the process of also self-realization and building your self-awareness. So it is fantastic, because this person was said, I'm not comfortable at all, but I do it, and now I feel much comfortable after I did it, So, and
it's sort of almost liberating and empowering to say, we're not all strong at everything. We are weak at some things, and as you say, it's about the self-actualization, the realization. Okay, these are my strengths, these are my weaknesses. This is where I can focus on, and this is where I'm never going to be good at maths or whatever.
That's it, and you can find match, right? So that's why we need this. That's how we build communities as well, because we find matches. Maybe you're good at interviewing, I'm good at so we can match. That's that. Yeah.
We're not all going to be brilliant at everything.
Yeah. That's.
And so, tell me, this is not your first time in Pakistan. You've been here 3 times before. And unfortunately, Kamila was telling me just earlier off camera, the last time she was here, we gave her a nice present of dengue. So apologies for that. But what has been your experience here, and where do you think, because we're talking to a Pakistani audience here, what do you think? And I know there's a sort of danger of two Gauras talking and saying, let's talk to the Pakistani audience, and there's a danger that we sort of start becoming these sort of white savior type people. That we don't want that. But what do you think are some of the challenges and some of the solutions that we face here in Pakistan? From a youth perspective and a youth development perspective.
So just referring to what you said, if it comes to white saviors, that's what I put emphasis on during the workshops as well, that it's not me coming to them and saying what you should do. It's more, and I'm trying to create a platform where they will tell us what to do, where they are going to embrace what they think. So it's not at all about my way of thinking, it's about recognizing what actually they think. If it comes to challenges, what I recognize, and also I've been traveling a little bit over the Pakistan when I was here 2 times before. I would say that sometimes our ideas, they need a structure. They need a structure that will provide us with necessary tools or will help us to face certain challenges, either if it comes to maybe to educational approach or to methodological approach or to financial circumstances. So there are different challenges that young people may face if it comes to implementation of their ideas into life, and that's what I recognize. And in a lot of cases, it's also, and that's what we talked before, they don't believe that the change might happen. So maybe actually it's about starting this conversation, what kind of change they want to have and how we can support this change and how we can think about the change together, basically, because the term social change is very broad, and obviously it comes...
And I think a lot of people listening might think, well, this a bit sort of woolly, it's a social engagement and youth development. It's sort of...
Yeah, it's not, it's intangible. Yeah,
it's intangible.
How do you grasp it?
What are you talking about, really? I mean, what are we practically, what are we looking at? Trying to achieve.
So, for example, right now, what we are building with our NGO is SDG Action Incubator. So we are looking for teams for 4 people that will have interesting ideas, innovative solution to tackle the social challenges they have around them. It doesn't have to be big. It can be local, it can be for 10, 20, 50 people. But the idea is to make it innovative and progressive. So they apply with their ideas into our incubator. We chose 3 teams that will have, in our understanding, the best idea and also measurable idea and the idea that can actually came into reality, and we give them a small seed funding just to make it start to start it, and and then half a year of mentorship, and we also provide them experts from international Geneva, but not only from international community. So that would be the, let's say, a tangible try to see if it works.
So can anyone apply for this? Or?
So right now we are going to launch it in Gilgit and see how it goes. That's why from here I go to Gilgit. But for me, conducting this workshop, for example, in Karachi is important to see if young people are interested in it. If young people are really willing, would they be willing to do that? Is it something they find applicable to their life? Or maybe for some this idea is silly. Maybe they say, no, we like it, doesn't make sense for us, and it's fine. So I just, I came here 4 years ago. So since that moment, and I'm also very young, so I'm trying to learn on my mistakes and see if what I think actually can work out. So for me, this incubator is attempt to see if it makes sense, basically, because I did a lot of mistakes during this time, and organization changed a lot as well, because I changed and people around me changed. So I think that I'm still looking for an answers, because I tend to question a lot of things, and some of the questions maybe I will never find answers, but this incubator is just one try to see if it works or not. And I started building it 3 years ago. We had the SDG Youth Council in University of Lahore, and we tried, still it's kind of going, but I see that there are a lot of things that could be done better. So that's why this SDG Action Incubator is another try to see, okay, can we do it? And why I'm focusing on Gilgit, because as I said before, narrowing down is very essential for a change to happen. So that's why I'm particularly trying out in Gilgit with few people to see how it works. If it makes sense, then we can apply it into other cities and make it grow. But for now, I want to see if people are interested in how it will go. So to learn on mistakes.
You said you were very young. How old are you?
26.
Wow. Goodness. And where do you, and this is your full-time occupation?
So I'm also a student, and I also do other things, but
what are you studying?
I'm studying Master in Innovation, Human Development and Sustainability at University of Geneva.
Wow.
Yeah.
And where do you get the funding for your for this organisation?
So I work to have funds for my NGO.
Wow. And where do you work?
Different jobs. When I was a translator for some time, I was interpreting some things. Different. I was working in the theater, coordinating some projects. So for now, NGO is totally funded. Also with my mom's support, and you know, for some of the projects, my mom, she was selling things from home. Wow. Because she and for my first trip to Pakistan and for my second one, she sold some stuff from home so I can go. So yeah, that's for now. That's how I do it, because I don't want anyone to interfere in the way I want to conduct it. So that's why. And also for me, action is important. And if it comes to funding, sometimes it's, you know, you need to write a lot of grants and, you know, and talk to people and convince them. And for me, for now, it's not about convincing anyone. I just want to see if it works. I want to, you know, put my hands on the ground. And obviously it's challenging, you know, and selling your things from home, maybe it's not the most sustainable way of funding your projects, but for now, that's how it is, yeah.
Great. So tell me a bit about your background, because you have a very interesting background, and obviously you're Polish, but you're half Dagestani, which is now my ignorance was that I didn't really know of Dagestan till I came, till I met you, and it's a sort of principality, or it's a republic within Russia. Yeah. A republic within Russia.
Yes.
So you speak fluent Russian, fluent Polish, fluent English. That's quite a combination.
Yeah, and in Dagestan we have more than 50 languages. So in my family there are 4 different languages, and it's also very interesting and various dynamic.
And you were telling me about the name of your organization, how it relates to your grandparents.
Yes, so it's after my mom's last name, and my mom's last name was because it was changed during some historical reasons, and it comes after my great-grandfather name. So he was Alimurad, and then they converted into last name Alimuradova, and that's how.
So they were Muslim.
In Dagestan, yes, they were Muslim. Yeah.
Right, goodness.
Yeah.
And then so and how and now you're living in Geneva. So what prompted you to move to Geneva?
Destiny, let's say. So University of Geneva invited me to finish my bachelor there. So my last year of bachelor. So that's what I did, and then I applied for my master. And I think that a lot of things clicked and matched if it comes to the time of my life, because during my time in Poland I started traveling more and more, and I could feel that I'm more myself and I'm experiencing much more when I'm outside.
Why is that, do you
think? There are various reasons. You know, I have a lot of respect to the country itself, but it's just for some reasons I feel that I was looking for different opportunities, and the place itself was not, maybe I didn't find them, maybe I was not looking in the proper places, but for me, I was just looking for something different that I couldn't find by being there.
It's interesting. Do you think you could be a more authentic version of yourself outside of Poland and Dagestan than you could inside them?
Yes, at some point, yes. Yeah, you know, when I'm in Poland, and I'm not blaming anyone. This is definitely something that is my feeling, right? So when I'm in Poland, I feel that I have to be in certain structure, and that I need to fight to be in this structure and to prove myself that I'm in this structure, and to prove that I'm Polish. And when I'm in Dagestan, I feel that I don't really understand some things that are happening there, and also that although all my family is in Dagestan, and I really share a lot of things with them, and I love Dagestan itself and its culture, and I have a lot of respect to it. I believe that my mindset is different. you see. So I feel that I don't belong there. And when I'm there, I feel that I'm outsider. When I'm in Poland, I feel that I'm outsider as well. So when I came to Geneva, I was like, oh, wow, everyone is outsider, you know. So for me, it was relieving, and I actually could spend much more energy to do things for others and to not explain myself, because in a lot of cases people constantly ask me and question, why would you care about others, why would you do this, why would you do that? And I was really tired of saying, hey, look, this is just my character, leave me alone, that's what I want to do. If I want to go to Jordan, I go to Jordan. If I want to go to Pakistan, that's what I want to do. Why? And so constantly I was spending, you know, so much energy just of explaining why do I do it, and rather than just doing it.
Doing it, yeah.
So yeah,
and now you are doing it.
Yes, now I'm just doing it. Yeah.
So sort of, I just want to wrap this up because but just like, so what are your observations about, you know, the youth in Pakistan? What are the things that we can be doing that perhaps we're not doing? What are the things that you feel that you know, you've met some of the students today, you have met them on previous trips. What are your feelings what are the things that we should be doing that we're not getting it quite right?
So I would say there are certain questions that I have in my mind on how we can provide young people more support in order for them to express who they are and really embrace their skills and embrace what they can do, you know, because during this workshop, even today, they have so many skills. They have so many, you know, like a lot of strength and a lot of weaknesses they would like to share. They have a lot of passion and energy. So where is the leak, you know, where does it go? So for me, the question is how we can create a structured support for young people in order for them to really like shine, yes, and do something for their communities,
well,
for the
we
society.
are creating it here at ICRA University Extension. We are a space for young people and for old people alike, for all people. We're a cultural and intellectual hub. We have events, we have cultural events for them to shine. We have people like yourself coming and talking and seminars. So we're doing it Aista, slowly.
5 minutes of advertising.
Yeah. So I just had to get that plug in just now.
Yeah, so for me, this is the question, you see, and so yeah, and over the time I'm coming here and talking to people and realizing that they have this potential. I wonder, how can you make this, you know, the structure, and what would be the proposition for local governments or for local municipalities or for government itself? Maybe there is something that can be done, you know, and I'm sure that there is something that can be done, but and how do you involve also young people into participation of what is happening to them, you know? So how do you ensure that they really have this voice? And you asked me before about, you know, maybe these challenges of raising the voice. So how do you bring people around the table and ask them the right questions and really listen to them? How do you create these safe platforms, you know? So I am sure that young people in Pakistan, they really know what are the best solutions for them, but maybe there's no one who really asks them these questions. Maybe there's no one who really gives them, you know, the hand and tells them, okay, come. Yeah. Show me what you face. Show me what we can do for you. So for me, sorry, I'm getting emotional on this, but that really annoys me sometimes, you know, especially when I see that there is a potential in young people that it's misused, you know, and I feel that there is enormous potential in young people.
Do you think we treat students here or young adults your age like kids, like children? Do we not? We don't listen to them. Do you think?
I think it's also a matter of giving the responsibility.
We don't give them responsibility.
Yes, and saying them, okay, you are capable of doing that. You know, there is a.
So do we infantilize people at young adults? We keep them as as sort of prolonged adolescence?
You know, when you ask the question, do we? I don't want to make this generalization and these assumptions that might be wrong. I'm just sharing some observations and maybe wondering about, you know. So I don't want to make this narrative. But yeah, I think that if you give the responsibility and you give the chance for someone to make a mistake, and tell them, okay, this is the power.
It's okay to make a mistake.
Yes, it's okay to make a mistake, and
Yeah.
that's the power I'm giving you to make this mistake. And actually, it's not that I'm giving you this power. You have this power. Just use it. You see, just use the power you have and do something about it. Not sit around and just think that okay, that's how it is and that's how it will be. You know, because no, things can change if you make them change. You know, so I think that this understanding of what I'm capable of and this power that it's inside of these people, it's really important to embrace it
And express it.
and express it. Yes.
Wow. On that note, I think that's brilliant. The power is within, you know?
The power is within. Yes.
Yes,
that's right,
it
yeah.
sounds like a Star Wars, you know, thing. But you're absolutely right. I think it is about giving young people the opportunity to make mistakes and fail, because failure is where you learn the greatest lessons, and then through that you grow and you prosper. And we've got to get rid of fear from failure and fear of, you know, you were talking earlier, I don't know if this was on when we were talking now or earlier before we recorded, but how you were people were worried about making speaking about their weaknesses, and we should be exposing our weaknesses, because only then can we understand who we truly are.
Yeah, and you know, just a thing I want to share. It's I'm here. I'm in the place where I am, and I'm very grateful. Just because my mom, she would trust me to do my mistakes. And we had so many disagreements, and she was terrified each time I would go somewhere. She was, you know, we had so many difficult conversations that she would rather me stay, you know, in Warsaw and do something there, and why I cannot, you know, focus, why I'm always roaming around. There was a lot of difficult conversations that I had to face, and you know, and a lot of people in my surrounding, they were telling me that I'm stupid, that I shouldn't, you know. But there was this intuition, and maybe, yes, intuition that's what I want to do. And I think that all these mistakes that I made, they led me to the moment when I'm proud of my weaknesses and my strength, and I'm proud of what I did in the past. And so I would like really to share it with others. And so this is the journey that we need to have.
But it's interesting that ultimately your mother still let you fly. She still gave you the power to
That's it.
to jump out the nest, the proverbial nest.
Even though she was
and flap your
challenging me,
wings.
she would always support me. Even though she was saying, "Oh, Kamila, like why again? Why again?"
She was stress testing to make sure your logic and your reasoning was right.
Yes. But then she would always be behind me, and you know, if not her, I know that I would not be able to do what I'm passionate about and to actually discover what I'm passionate about. And that's why I was saying to you that support is very important, and that's what I believe we need to give to young people, and to give, you know, I'm also a young person, but to give to youth, because it's very important. It's really essential, because they already have what they need. They have it in themselves, but they need this support, you know, to fly. Yeah. That's it.
Great. Well, Kamila, it's been really nice talking to you. Thank you for taking part in this podcast.
Shukriya.
And shukriya. And thank you for the seminar today at IUX. This is our podcast, and we will have more enlightening and interesting discussions from various academics, intellectuals, cultural figures, and everyone in between in the coming weeks and months ahead. But thank you, Kamila, and enjoy the rest of your trip in Pakistan.
We'll do, definitely.